Over Jassenson again. Ellis can have a gach live one here. Come on. Farchum Barney finish. Demi Cahlan. Cadigan. Putstachens uit Droch aan Lihan. Gaan Keenenson gaan Fogarty ach Niagenson Gnosha en Schlitter. Feite Fogarty gus Tarnalasha Kilkenny Ardosha Crehe na Daka Hordy. Ní léon áras na Efson agus Buckley reist is Tiglish Hennig a Lorna Parke. Mark Ellis. Nes Cúrneom a Cledolach beg lead Sínum the Howlóin le Curlish Mädchen. Bill Cooper. Reist Town Howard Maul Tacht. Richie Hogan. Conor Martin a Tacht de Stach. Orda ha go dealer fad de ge Hogan. Ach Nielsen ach Lachísach agus ach tá na roiir an yen of the agus tá mór jacrachtaí ge Cork gan isir foot in the park. Schultes Stach reist agus Richie Hogan. In a chaihólach dos a chiún siar a ge Hogan. Hanna should dras ná Martin na creit go fóil.
Níl mór an Dan Sher go bhfuil de rime ar chur a bheith fechar sin bhí sé treis leabhanú istigh tebistigh de chailm Spillane for sé Greimer an Schlitter a láb dómfis go tapig bin an cúigú cúlín ó nimmert ó Richie Hogan a nniuh.
Coleman a Ross Traston agus harda he go des aige. Chofad le Christopher Joyce. Léirú an son in immert chorcaí sa tarna le. Putach an Keenan sa Conor Martin a Rossach Cahlan a Tacht Trasna. Becheckmach pontáist á hef nirt again Gorcaíoch. Mädchen ráte a sé feite aige Conor Martin. Agus ní haváin son ní mórna go bhain sé scóir le machchan son a bheith sorda go má os cinna Trasnáin aige Anthony Nash agus Steve McDonnell nish. Gafach an Keane, Paddy Deegan, Shasa van Oud, Horgan a Tacht. Hier in de Currach again, turn it in the Currach again. Nicht nie Fedlis and Drumchla, a Chorda has Boilach. Cooper Donestach, Gohaskalach. No Maternach, Dungorak a Harisht. The Creightonson here, agus Conor Fogarty, Killian Buckley, in house Lorna Park, Deegan. Níl sé olcan écharnecha de air na fan in ritsan tahiige agus tréir mar a chuig an claithraig bhí Conor Martin leis a fiosú agus tá suncur ar dhéisige. Dig den Schlitter an obair dhéanamh seachas a bheith á úmper. Suchas second de dul agus sciúr seáil ceart a behan tarna leis seo de chorcaig agus Cahlan Hénig. Tá dearg leis.
Rinne Deegan go machchan an Council na Húgáil.
Catar siúla ge Corcaig an sir dead here. Alan Cadigan. Bedigan Odis Colas at second, Dernacht and Glahenú, Paint to get Cadigan and Paint to talk against Stolim, Dirk Lastig and Gula.
Back to winning ways. Now there is a surprise. Cork gave it all they could, but they weren't able to go with Kilkenny at the start of the second half. And here in Nolan Park, it's finished. Kilkenny 22 points, Cork 15.
Very, very important game for us. Cork already had won a game, so we have a couple of very, very hard matches left in the league. But today we were decent, very competitive first half there, very, very little in it. Second half we put a good workman-like performance together and got some good scores.
I was very happy with our effort and performance in the first half, and it put us against the slight breeze. It put us in a good position at half time. And I thought that's where we wanted to be and come back and have a look at half time and see where we were, and I thought we achieved that in the first half. But the first 15 minutes of the second half, Kilkenny just hit us hard and pushed on, and we didn't match it, and I think that's where the losing of the game.
Yeah, it might have taken them a while this spring, but Kilkenny finally heading up the charts again. And I suppose that's a little bit of a relief, because another setback for Kilkenny today and King Henry be dusted down again.
Well, it was relief for me. I don't know about Anthony, but I think both managers probably synopsis it right. You know, it was probably very competitive. Cork started very well. Kilkenny looked a bit nervous, but once they got into it and once their experienced players started to come to the fore, there was only one winner then, and they just took over and they played as well as they've played since last year's All-Ireland semi-final in the second half. And I think, you know, the position of the team was better. Paul Murphy was back from centre back in the corner, played well. Conor Fogarty was good wing back. Killian Buckley good. Colin Fennelly was back in, made a difference, was very dangerous. TJ and Richie Hogan was out of the corner, outside the forward, and gave a man in the match performance and 5 points. And what that does, Michael, is that the experienced players played well, and then the inexperienced players don't have to carry the can. They just have to have a good average game, and that's what happened with Kilkenny. The Richie Lahys, Paddy Deegans of this world performed better. So I think Kilkenny would be happy, because obviously the first 2 performances were poor. So I think they'd be happy tonight.
They will, because, in fairness, as Henry said, Anthony, you know, Cork played fairly well today, but for me, what happened, like, towards the closing stage, Kilkenny were just toughing it out, as they do.
It was sort of predictable, Michael, if you like. You know, it wasn't it? We felt this is going to be a tough ask for Cork. Like, they started great against Clare, very poor performance against Dublin, and then they had to go into Nolan Park with a Kilkenny team desperate for points. And it's good that Brian's job is safe for another week as well. You know, like, I think we were all very concerned there for last week. So, no, look, from Cork's point of view, Kieran has introduced a lot of new players. His own son is a very promising player. Mark Coleman had a good solid hour at wing back today. But it's a learning curve for these guys, and no steeper place to be learning it than in Nolan Park in heavy conditions as well, Michael, because you know, they brought back that level of work that we associate with them that we didn't see in Ennis Celeste. That came back today. Yeah,
you were talking about that mixture in the team, the experienced fellas playing well, but of course you're always looking to see who's coming into this Kilkenny team, who are going to be the next level up.
Well, I think we have to find someone, because, to be honest, we need a couple of new players to keep the other players on their toes. And the one I've identified tonight, I could have picked out a couple of them, but I thought Richie Lahey or Leahy, the other people around the country, played very, very well. Promising minor, you know, his first year in the panel, and this is his last score of the day. This is his 3rd point, and I just wanted to show that one first, because he just made that look so simple, and that was a brilliant score. Again, just broke onto a breaking ball here, left hand on top, over the bar. And the thing about all these scores is that he makes it look easy, and I think that's what good forwards do. They make things look easy, and that's what he did. And I think for Kilkenny to progress, they're going to need players like him. But I think what they really need is they really need TJ and Richie Hogan. If you've TJ and Richie Hogan playing well, the players outside you will come and they will lift their level of game, because there's not that much expectation on them.
And Colin Fennelly back today, I think it really, Cork really had to worry about another threat coming in on that right wing, and he made some brilliant runs through the middle. Didn't maybe finish as much as he'd like, but really added to the overall dynamic.
Look, it was a good competitive sporting game today, Anthony, but I suppose Cork's cause was set back a little bit. There was a red card in the game. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Michael, it was just, we don't really know what started it. The camera came onto it, and there was pulling and dragging going on. Walter and Bill Cooper were involved, and eventually what happens is, I think Killian Buckley gets knocked to the ground, so does Cormac Murphy, but Cormac strikes down, and look, all these schmozzles, Michael, if you like, and there's a lot of them in the game when it's wet conditions like that, but you can even see by Cormac's reaction himself, he knows he overstepped the mark, and you just can't swing anymore. You know, we saw